Yeah, we're going to shut it off. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to Portsea Oval here for day 2 of the Pacific Military Cup. A magnificent day here in the nation's capital in Canberra. And haven't we seen some wonderful rugby? This one is between the Cook Islands and Vanuatu, and then of course Fiji will take on the Solomon Islands, Samoa will play Tonga, and then the final will be the Australians and the Kiwis. And speaking of the Australians, joining us in the broadcast box, delighted to be the thorn between two roses in Molly Gray and Shania Allen. Good afternoon, Shania.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Not too bad. How do you see this competition so far? Some great challenges and some wonderful teams involved.
Definitely some amazing teams and some amazing ladies and rugby being played this weekend. We've been lucky enough to have some great competition in our pool. Coming into this afternoon, it will be great to verse the Kiwis and see what they've got and show them what we've got to offer. So. And
the Cook Islands have got possession now, and a damaging run forward just inside their own half. Looking for some opportunities here. Shifts it now to the left-hand side, and they go up straight up the train tracks over the halfway line. And the referee will come in. Molly Gray, how do you see this one going between Vanuatu and the Cook Islands?
I definitely think it's going to be a really interesting game, and it's a really good matchup as well. You know, Vanuatu haven't had any luck over the last 2 days, and they haven't, as in where they haven't been able to get a win in their corner. So I think this is going to be really good. You know, the Cook Islands, they've got some big runners, so that's going to be a challenge for Vanuatu. But, you know, I think we're in for a really good show.
So the Cook Islands will just use the ball inside the opposition half. They shift it to that left-hand side now. And it's socketed along the ground, but a nice little pass at the back cleans things up. And they reset. And some good defence there from Vanuatu. Puts the player to ground. So now they have an option straight up the middle now, over the halfway line, about 5 or 6 into opposition territory now, the Cook Islands. Referee comes in and blows the whistle. What's some of the things that have been impressing you at this tournament, Shania, from all of the teams involved?
Rugby Rise, I think it's great to see every team having a crack and not giving up, even though we have some newer teams to rugby and Rugby 7's specifically. Everyone's just so friendly and supportive of each other, and there's some really good sportsmanship being shown both on and off the field, so that's really great to see.
And for those watching at home, Shania wears the number 8 jumper. How long have you been in the Australian side?
So this is my first year representing ADF in rugby. So I started off playing Interbrigade in April, carried over to represent ADF in 15s in June against the police, Australian police side. And this is my first Rugby 7's competition, so it's really good.
And beating the Kiwis will be pretty special this afternoon, but the first time in the inaugural competition, that'd probably be just a little bit sweeter, yeah?
Yeah, so that's been one of our team goals from the start of the competition, to obviously carry that legacy over. Seeing as this is the first Pacific Mill Cup, it would be a great way to start it off for us.
And it's like watching a game of soccer at the moment as the ball is kicked into touch. A chance for Vanuatu, Molly, but unfortunately it's just been kicked over across towards the golf course. Yeah,
that was a really good opportunity for them there. I thought that they were in with it. They've done a couple of kicks over the top and none of them have ever really managed to pay off. But this one looked like it was about to. But definitely some good pressure there by the Cook Islands, and definitely a smart move from them as well to kick it out. So just to get it out of the way, and we can have a scrum on that 5 metre line there, and it looks like it's going to be Vanuatu's feed, so I'm just excited to see if they can get some points on the board. They haven't scored any tries yet.
Yeah, let's see if they can break that duck as Vanuatu feed the scrum. It's the pop-up pass, and there's a huge opportunity here on the left flank. In and away, yes. Classy way to bring up the first try for Vanuatu, and they lead it 5-0 with a kick to come, Moz.
Yeah, good option there on that blind side. You know, there was a lot of space out that side for them, and they just went for it, and she backed herself, which is the most important thing. And we've seen that a lot over the last 2 days as well, just players having the confidence to back themselves and take it in themselves. That's the beauty about 7's, is that there's the space to be able to do that. So, you know, really proud of Vanuatu for getting some points on the board.
Conversion unsuccessful for Vanuatu. Shania, I'd call Molly Gray Nostradamus, the female Nostradamus. She's done it again. She mentions that they're half a chance, boom, they score. It's an incredible talent.
Definitely is.
So we're back for the restart. And what a great start for Vanuatu. So they lead this one 5-0. And the Cook Islands will start things now. Just bring it back off their 40. Played about 15 or so from the halfway line. Still in their own half now, the Cook Islands. They use their back line pretty smartly here. They've got some size and a bit of pace, and the one-on-one strip looks like it's coming from Vanuatu. So now they find themselves about 25 out from the line, and a huge opportunity. If they go to the left-hand side, they've got points. That's where it came last time. Just outside the 22, the in and away, the no-look pass, the fortuitous bounce, but it's gone forward, unfortunately. So, but Vanuatu certainly, Moz, they've really stepped up, haven't they, in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, this is the most, I think they're really getting into it because it's an evenly matched game as well. So it's definitely something that they can handle, and there's more opportunities for them. And I don't think that they're getting as intimidated by those more experienced sides. You know, when they played New Zealand, obviously that was a bit of a shell shock feeling for them. So, yeah, you know, in this game, it's all about just using those opportunities that they get and just backing themselves and making sure that they can get in and amongst it. We'll see what happens here with this scrum.
So they'll feed it now, the Cook Islands on the 22. Along the back line they go, using their size. Now they need to use their speed. Basketball pass over the top is impressive. Trying to work it along the far side, touchline. And it'll just go into touch. So, Shania, where's home for you in Australia?
So home for me is the Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast, and I'm currently posted to Randwick Barracks in Sydney, so not too far away from Canberra.
How have you made the switch from the warm, beautiful weather of Queensland to Sydney?
It's been pretty hard, but we've got some nice beaches in Sydney, so that definitely makes up for it.
So the line out to take place here. So it'll be a Vanuatu feed. Wind has picked up just a little bit here in Canberra. It's just a fraction colder than it was earlier in the day. As Vanuatu now use their width on their back line. Chance out wide, no look pass. This is classy stuff from Vanuatu. And they zip away to score their second try. Yes.
Oh, what a try from them. That was the first time that we've seen them actually start to use the width of the field and start to transition the ball between the players' hands as well. And, you know, they obviously don't seem like they're that confident with the long passes, but that was honestly the first time. And I love how she's celebrating as well. You know, this is probably the best game that we've seen them play, and they've left it to the last minute for us, but they're going to go out with a bang, I reckon.
Yeah, they've been an impressive lineup. They've been trying. They've been on the end of some big scores, as you mentioned, but, geez, they still put in across the 15 or so minutes of the game, and that conversion is unsuccessful. So it remains 10 points to nil in favour of Vanuatu. Shania, for the Kiwis, where do you see their threats across the park? Who do you have to stop?
So definitely Kiwis are, I think pretty well matched to us. So they've definitely got some fast runners in there, just finding the gaps and taking them. We've seen them obviously over the last couple of days. But I think it's all going to determine, who plays the best on the field this afternoon. Hopefully it's us, and I think we're going to give them a good run for their money. So
I've been really impressed with Brittany Wallace-Sharp, the number 6 for the Kiwis.
Yes, me too. So she's had some good play, some good runs over the last couple of days. So it'll be good to see her this afternoon, see what she brings to the table.
Okay, so that's half time here in Vanuatu, Cook Islands. We'll take a break. Vanuatu, they are flying. 10 points to nil at half time. A break and back with more. So, welcome back to Portsea Oval, and the restart not quite going the way Vanuatu wanted, but they'll bring it back off their own try line. John O'Farr, Molly Gray and Shania Allen, your commentators for this game. As it goes along the back line for Vanuatu, they had an impressive first half, leading 10 points to nil, with 2 great tries out on that left-hand wing, and that kick has gone across the field, but the wind has picked it up. Molly, what do the Cook Islands have to do to get themselves back in contention with this one?
I think they just need to get the ball in hand, to be honest. You know, the Cook Islands, we've seen what they can do when they have the ball. They're very strong. They've got those big players as well, so they're really good in that contact. And when they hit that defensive line, they just pump their legs, and it takes about 2 or 3 people to get them onto the ground. So I just want to see the Cookies with the ball in hand like they have now, see what they can actually make of this. I reckon this big player here, she's about to do exactly what we said before, and she's just going to muscle her way through. But ball in hand, that's exactly what they need.
Well, they've got possession inside the 22 now. So they'll tap and go, and they'll use their size. Oh, yes. Nostradamus has struck again. Twice in a game, and it's 10-5. Oh, that is uncanny.
There you go. That's exactly what we said they needed to do. You know, a little bit of a show and go there, and off she went, and she got that try. So really good for the Cookies. They needed some more points. They're definitely in this game still. It's not over yet. We've got probably about 6.5 minutes to go. So, you know, I don't know what way it's going to go. I love these evenly matched games, so it's nice to see.
Shania, is it a fitness thing? Is it what are the differences between 7's rugby and the 15s? In terms of your body and what you have to do in games?
Yep, so obviously with 15's rugby, it's a little bit more physical than 7's. So 7's involves a lot more running and, you know, just a fast movement off the ruck and around in offence and defence. So, yeah, you just kind of train to the way that you would like to play and your team and everything, so...
So the restart there for the Cook Islands. Shania Allen making her commentary debut in her first year for the Australian side. Great to see her and her very talented Australian side. They'll be playing the Kiwis in the final of this Pacific Military Cup. That'll be a little bit later today. We hope we can have your company for that. And now the Cook Islands have an opportunity with the ball just outside the 22 to get themselves back in this contest. Along the back line they go. Nice passage of rugby at the moment. What can they do here? They score the try on that right side. And now they're just using their size and strength again inside 22. Damaging forward running here. And the Cook Islands, yes, they're all square. 10-all. Terrific stuff, Moz.
Yeah, absolutely. Just use what you've got. They've got the size, so they may as well. The Vanuatu players are a lot smaller than them, so when you've got a big player like that running at you, I mean, how on earth do you stop it? They couldn't do it. She got through again, so it's twice in a row now that the Cookies have been able to use their size to get over the line. So
I think that's the first game in this tournament that's been tied at various times, and the conversion unsuccessful. So a couple of records in this game. Vanuatu scoring their first try, and we're all locked up at 10 apiece. So it's been a pretty entertaining game. Shania, your thoughts on it so far?
I think it's been a cracker of a game, definitely between these two sides. It's a very close game and evenly matched. Obviously, Vanuatu have their strengths with their faster girls, and the opposition with their bigger players, the stronger players, just running the ball up straight and then finding the quick offload for the tries and breaks.
So the Cook Islands now to take possession of the ball after Vanuatu just losing it. They'll now play it inside the 40. They shift it to that left-hand side. Unfortunately, can't quite hold on to the ball. And now Vanuatu put an interesting choice of attack on with a kick. Gives it straight back to the Cook Islands. We'll play it about 10 short of the halfway, and now there's a huge chance. Oh, what about that? The flick pass. You beauty. And now they go over on that far side. So, Molly, they are certainly flamboyant in their attack.
it's nice to see that they're actually starting to try some different things as well. You know, this is the first time we're seeing both teams really shift that ball around a lot, and that flick out the side right now, that was amazing. You know, but like just even here, like taking it herself, but her winger probably just overrunning it a little bit, and that just comes with experience. So, you know, when something like that happens, you really need to get back and have some depth as well, so you can run onto the ball, so you don't sort of fumble it and end up knocking it on like they've done just now.
I know that this result doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things in terms of results and who wins and all that sort of stuff this competition, but what do we do at full time if we're all locked up? Penalty shootout?
I actually have no idea. No one's really told me the rules on that one, so...
Maybe a drop goal-a-thon or something.
Another speed walking race.
Yes. The Cook Islands now inside the 22. Back inside, in and away towards the line. Chance here now for points. So there was calls for holding the ball there, but it's gone away because now it's play on. And the Cook Islands have a chance inside their 22, right in front of the sticks. Back it goes, now out to the left. Chance tries to get the pass away, might not need to. Couple of metres short of the line, it comes loose. The Cook Islands pick it up and they will score. Well, that is just an incredible try to the Cook Islands. 15-10.
You've got to give credit to Vanuatu, though, because they made some really great tackles there, and they're making, they're going high and they're going low, so they're really working on those double hits, and I think that's really impressive. They did that twice in a row then. It does suck in their players, but it does stop or slow down those bigger Cook Island players as well. So, they're defending really well against these big players.
So 15-10. Courtesy of that try for the Cook Islands, and now they have this conversion to hopefully add 2 more. A difficult kick with the wind going across the face of goal, and that's exactly the way the ball goes. So stays at 15 points to 10 in favour of the Cook Islands midway through this second half. Great to have the Army band here belting out all the tunes. They have got an impressive back catalogue, I can tell you that. So 15 points to 10 in favour of the Cook Islands. The Vanuatu side need to get themselves back in this contest after leading 10 points to 0. Another interesting choice there with the kick downfield. It's a kicking Joel, but now it's a chance for Vanuatu possibly. Ball has come loose. And it's popped out the back for the Cook Islands. They've lost the football, and it'll be a knock on.
Yeah, you're right. It was a bit of an interesting decision there from that player to kick the ball down range, but it worked for them in the first couple of minutes of the first half. So they've done it twice now in this half as well. So, I think it was probably smart. They've done it again, but obviously they've got to really start to pump the legs and get up there and put the pressure on the Cook Islands. But maybe just to give the ball away like they did just then, and she found that gap in that defensive line, and she looks like she's just coasting.
Oh, the chip chase. A chance for the Cook Islands. Another kick. Is this going to be a try? No. It's a kick in the touch from Vanuatu.
It's like we're watching a hybrid game of rugby and soccer.
So what a very entertaining game of rugby. It comes to an end. An amazing performance from Vanuatu. They can't quite get the win, but a brilliant performance from the Cook Islands. 3 tries to 2, 15 points to 10. And the real star of this game is Shania Allen, who's joined us in the broadcast box. Wonderful to have you here, Shania.
Been very good to be here, so thank you.
You going to stick around for one more game?
We'll see.
All right, well, there we go. So the commentary debut has started, and, well, the list behind me has got a little bit longer, but that's okay. We'll take a break, and on the other side, all the action of the more games here from the Pacific Military Cup. John O'Farr, Molly Gray and Shania Allen, your commentators for this game. We'll take a break. On the other side, back with more from the Pacific Military Cup here in Canberra. And here we go for our next clash between Fiji and the Solomon Islands. And this should be a very entertaining clash. The Fijians, they have had some big scores put against them, but they've equally scored just as many. And the Fijians get us underway. The Solomon Islands with some good defence straight up, working it from the set piece. Now the Fijians have the ball. Basketball pass over the top. Can't quite come, but now the Solomon Islands have the ball and it's going back and forth. Molly Gray joins me in commentary, and of course from the Australian side, Shannon Evans. Great to have you here, Shannon.
Thank you.
Have you enjoyed the tournament so far?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's good to get there and finally play some footy, and it's good that we have the similar bunch of girls come back from our games in June. So yeah, it's kind of a little family gathering again, and yeah, it's good to be out there running around.
You faced the Kiwis in the final. Where do you see the challenges?
Particularly their number 9.
Yep.
She's definitely their threatening player. So, we just have to be on our game. We've been training for quite a while now, so hopefully we can just stick to our guns and trust each other, and, yeah, we'll get through.
And what sort of lessons does Fiji take it inside 22 and they'll score their first try almost? Yes, they will. They go in and under the post. So 5-0 to Fiji over the Solomon Islands. Good start for them. What sort of things do you learn from playing these Islander teams?
I guess to expect the unexpected. You know, they're very back and forth with their style of play. You know, the basketball passes over the top and the flick passes behind the back. It's definitely, you know, their unique style, and that's shown in both the men's and the women's game. So, yeah, we're definitely learning how to kind of stick as a team and connect in defence. That's our big one, connecting and, you know, not diving in and jumping in an opportunity to put ourselves in a dangerous position.
How long have you been in the Australian side, Shannon?
I've been in the Navy for 4 years, and I've been able to represent the ADF in 3 separate occasions. Okay. So that's pretty lucky. Yeah, pretty stoked with that.
Must be great to be a part of the inaugural Pacific Military Cup.
It is amazing to see how much effort they've put into a...
We'll just come back in just a second as Fiji gallop away to score their second try, and that'll make it eventually 12 points to 0.
A competition like this is amazing for us to be able to build relationships with these Pacific nations and countries, and you know, it shows that it doesn't have to be strictly work, it can be play at the same time, and these ladies bring such an enthusiastic personality to the game. I mean, we've had so much fun just watching them, you know, how happy they are and how grateful they are to be here, and we definitely appreciate the opportunity. You know, a lot of effort has gone into this, and we can't be more thankful, you know, to have the opportunity that we can go out there and show them that women's rugby can be competitive, and, you know, as much as we are in the Defence Force, we can still, you know, train and get out there and have a good time.
Well, this certainly puts women's 7 rugby on the map, and continues the great success that's been set up from the Rio Olympics, where the Aussie women won gold.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everyone out there would have dreams of being able to be in the Aussie 7's side, and, you know, their calibre of rugby is just amazing. We were fortunate enough to train with them last week in Sydney, and, you know, just the atmosphere that they had in their training camp, their professionalism, it was just, it's such a good opportunity for us, and we were really taken back by what we could learn off of them.
Okay, so we're just about to have a scrum here, just outside the halfway line. So great to have Shannon Evans here in commentary. And Molly Gray, how have you seen this contest so far? Fijians 14-0.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty even contest between the two sides. You know, Fiji are doing really well. There's a lot of back and forth rugby going on. The ball's been stolen a lot. Fiji are moving the ball around the park really well as they do a little chip over the top there and chase it. It just sort of sits up, but they fumble it a little bit. But, you know, I think the Solomon Islands have also been doing really well. And this is what I love about the final games of the day. And it's just that it's all very evenly matched now, so the teams are able to go out there and really show us what they've got, and there's so many opportunities for them. There's no games where they're going to be whitewashed and have a ton of points put on them. We'll find that all of these games will be quite evenly matched, and the scores will be pretty close, I reckon, anyways.
So scrum is fed by the Solomon Islands, and it's out the back. Along the back line it goes, and geez, that's strong defence from Fiji, but now Solomon Islands have got a bit of space. The in and away pass, it's not quite the prettiest rugby you're ever likely to see, but the Fijians have now got the football, and they'll go inside 22 and zip away under the posts. So that's now 19-0 with a kick to come.
That was some really good pressure there by Fiji. You know, I think they really just scared the Solomon Islands a little bit. They looked like they didn't want to take the ball into contact, and they just kept going back and kept going backwards. And, you know, Fiji were able to act fast and take the ball and just go in for another try. So they're showing us that they're a really classy side, and they're very good at unstructured rugby.
So conversion about to take place, and is successful. So 21 points to 0, 3 tries to zip. And Molly, your talent bank of Australian rugby players continues. Of course, we had Shania Allen in the last game, and now we've got Shannon Evans here.
It's actually really hard to convince them to come up and have a chat. People think that they don't know how to talk into a microphone, but you all know how to play rugby, so you know how to talk about it. So it's good. It's nice to have the girls up here.
So the Fijians get us back underway. 21 points to 0, 3 tries to 0. And Solomon Islands have some work to do. But what can they do now with the Gilbert as they try and just go inside the 40, about 9 short of the halfway line. Along the back line they go from the set piece. They swing it back to that right-hand side. Now try and bring it to the left side of Portsea Oval. Kick across field. There's a huge chance if they were quicker, but Fiji have got the ball now. And now they might go straight up the middle. A damaging barnstorming run here from Fiji. Now inside the 22. There is no stopping her. And the fourth try comes the way of the Fijians. 26 points to nil with a kick to come.
Well, that was some really fancy footwork there, and she just backed herself, and that's what I love about 7's rugby, is that, you know, there are the spaces if you can find it in that defensive line and then just put some footwork on, and Shannon's all about the fancy footwork. She knows about that, and she puts her head down, she just goes for it. So very similar. And Shaz, you've got a touch background, don't you?
Yeah. I grew up playing touch from about 8 years old, so that's I must admit, is my favourite sport. Unfortunately, I don't get to play it much anymore, being the defence force, and I guess that's where I get to enjoy rugby sevens more, because it is so similar to touch.
So 28 points to nil, the Fijians now, and that's half time. So we'll take a break here from Portsea Oval. The Fijians 4 tries to nil, or 28 points to nil, whichever you prefer. We'll take a break. On the other side, all the action of Fiji Solomon Islands Part 2. So welcome back to Portsea Oval for the second half of this Fiji Solomon Islands clash. And 28 points to nil in favour of the Fijians. 4 tries to them. Solomon Islands, a short kick-off, a very short one. Won't go the 10, so it'll be a tap and go from the halfway line. And now the Fijians, they use their pace along the back line. Bit of space now. Just galloping inside the 40. Look at her dart along the try line. My goodness, that's impressive. The 5th try comes in spectacular fashion, and it's 33 points to nil. That really started from a very simple play, but was very impressive in the end.
Yeah, that was really good effort there by the Fijians. It's that little stutter step that they do, and sort of just confuses the defence, and you know that they hesitate and they don't know whether they should go in for the tackle or not. So stutter step, she hesitated, she found the space on the outside and she took it and she ran with it and she managed to get the try. So it's a really great effort there. Fiji are showing a very classy game of rugby sevens today.
So conversion unsuccessful, so it remains 33 points to nil. In fact, they got the conversion, so just missed that one. So 35 points to nil in favour of Fiji. And now the Solomon Islands have a chance here. That's driving defence from the Fijians. Just jamming the Solomon Islands into their own 22. Now they try and play it off the chalk. Straight up the middle they go. Strong defence here from the Fijians, though. The numbers you can see there are pretty strong. And the ball has been turned over as the referees come in, but it'll be a Solomon Islands tap and go.
This will be a really good opportunity here for the Solomon Islands. You know, they've had a really good competition so far, and they won their first game yesterday against the Cook Islands, so they know what it's like to win. They know what they have to do when they get out there, but it's just about taking the opportunities and making the most of them as well. There's a lot of drop ball out there at the moment, so hopefully they can muscle up as we go into this scrum now as the Solomon Islands look to feed.
Into the scrum it comes, out it goes. Passes backward. Fiji now on the attack. The ball's gone all over the place. Solomon Islands somehow keeping the ball in their possession, but it'll come back here because it was a knock on. So Fiji will have a chance about 15 out from the line right in front of the sticks with this scrum feed. So 35 points to nil in favour of the Fijians here at Portsea Oval. Wonderful facilities here at the RMC in Canberra. Beautiful golf course you can see in the background of our live shot. And some beautiful old houses as you make your drive in from the main road. So the Fijians now inside the 22. Some fancy, flashy footwork. And another try brings up 40 points for them, Moz.
Yeah, that's another great try there by the Fijians. And the Solomon Islands, their defensive line then was a little bit disjointed, and there were definitely a lot of spaces and a lot of holes and opportunities for them to be able to get through. And it just comes with that fancy footwork and a couple of good fends, and they managed to make their way through again. There's no surprises there that Fiji are going to start racking on the points.
So they convert their sixth try, and that's now 42 points to nil in favour of the Fijians. I think one of their biggest wins was 59-0, or somewhere around that yesterday. I'd love to be able to say who that was against, but I just simply can't remember. We've seen so much great rugby here today, haven't we?
We had a lot of games yesterday. All teams played 3 times yesterday each, and then they'll play 2 games today. So we're in the finals now as the Solomon Islands take the ball into some heavy contact there by the Fijians, but she pumps her legs and the ruck is formed, and they manage to get the ball out of the back. There we go. Hopefully they can do something with this.
So Samoa and Tonga are in the plate final as Fiji just get, an unlucky bounce for the Solomon Islands, but a fortuitous one for Fiji, and they score their 7th try under the sticks.
Yeah, I think it was probably a bit of a panic kick there. Not necessarily the worst decision, but they just didn't get the length that they needed. The ball ended up going quite lateral, and it just popped up perfectly, and it was just sitting there for the Fijian player to come through and be able to collect it to go on to score another try for Fiji.
So 49 points to nil in favour of the Fijians. And now the Solomon Islands will play it just outside their 22 now. Chance to spread it across their back line. Darting up the middle. This is impressive stuff from them. Bit of speed, but solid defence there from the Fijians. And now this is where they're dangerous. They want it to go left, but they'll swing it back to the right. They go back inside 22. Stepping. Oh, flashy show and go under the sticks. That brings up 50 for the Fijians. They are flying. And it's 55 points to nil. Thank you. It's hard to keep up with all these tries.
Yeah, another unlucky moment there for the Solomon Islands. She made a good break, but it was just that big tackle, and unfortunately she couldn't keep the ball in hand, and just that ball security that they've really got to watch out for. But the Fijians always make the most of it.
So 57-0 now, courtesy of that conversion. Got to be close to the full-time siren, you would think, as the Solomon Islands take it off their own 22. The chip and chase, unique tactic. Goes straight to the Fijians, and they use their back line just on that right side now for an opportunity. A beautiful in and away and galloping down the sideline. Beautiful stuff from the Fijians. And that is now 62 points to nil. Some of the fans here are calling for the mercy rule. Well, it won't matter because you've got to be very close to full time, and that's 64 points to nil. And that is full time. So the mercy rule doesn't matter here, ladies and gentlemen. An impressive performance from Fiji to finish their tournament here against the Solomon Islands. And it was impressive rugby, Molly, from start to finish, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always enjoyed over the last 2 days watching the Fijians play. You know, they are a very skillful team. They play good, unstructured rugby, and I just love watching them run with the ball in one hand. I find that very, very impressive because it's a skill that I don't possess at all. No, but the game was really great. I think just Solomon Islands were a little bit shell-shocked again, and it was just Fiji were just too good for them. But everyone's all grouped up together now, and it's nice to see. And that's what I love about women's rugby is that, you know, they may hate each other on the field, but as soon as the game's done, they really just all get around each other, and that's what it's about. That's what this entire tournament is about.
So a big thank you to Shannon Evans, who joined us earlier in the broadcast, and of course Shania Allen earlier in that, and we wish those two girls and the rest of the Australian team all the best of luck in the final. But up next, it's the plate final, and that'll be Samoa Tonga. So we'll take a break here from Portsea Oval. On the other side of that break, we will be here for all the action of the plate final between Samoa and Tonga. So this is the plate final at the Pacific Military Cup between Samoa and Tonga. Tonga on the left of your screen in the red and the white. Samoa in the blue and the white on the right. So looks like Tonga will get us underway. And this should be a pretty strong battle between two very strong Pacific nation sides, Molly Gray.
Yeah, these two teams have been playing absolutely out of their skin over the last 2 days, and they're both very strong and fast as well. So both teams have got some really big players, and again, this is going to be a really good matchup. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
So Tonga get us underway with a kick-off. Goes back towards the 22. Some sloppy hands from Samoa. Picks it up and loses the football. Again, they regather it, but the knock-on is very much there early doors. So there'll be a scrum to take place, and the Tongans, Molly, they have absolutely flown into formation, haven't they, to get this scrum underway?
Yeah, and it's unfortunately for Samoa, it's just not the start that they would want to this plate final. So, I think it's about just discipline and getting their hands up and getting ready to catch that ball. But Tonga look like they are ready. Just look at the way that they're set up across the field. You can see, though, that in their attacking line that they're still set quite shallow, which is interesting. But they go the blind side.
And Tonga go inside the 22 now. Shift it back to the left-hand side. Some fancy footwork. This is classy if it'll be a try, and it is. And the Tongans are the first to break the drought, and it's 5-0 in favour of them over Samoa.
Yeah, that was some really great vision there by the Tongans on that blind side to be able to take that and just to sort of, again, muscle their way through that defensive line and get the first points on the board for this plate final.
So 7-0 in favour of Tonga. That try was converted. Really looking forward to the Titanic battle, another Trans-Tasman one between Australia and New Zealand, and that will be the final of the Pacific Military Cup. Australia, you would think, are favourites, but the Kiwis are going to come at them, aren't they, Molly?
Oh, I think it's going to be an amazing final. Both teams are very well matched, and they're both very fast and very skillful, and they all have, there are definitely some key players that will be good matchups as well. So I'm excited to see what happens in that final. But as Tonga get the ball now and are taken down by Samoa.
Just floats the pass up, and now they shift it to the left-hand side, and that is a galloping run inside the 22, and the second try will come in beautiful fashion for the Tongans right under the black dot. So that will take us to 12-0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, another really good effort there by the Tongans, and they're just showing a lot of confidence coming into their last game of the day, and just must be shell-shocking Samoa a bit. I haven't seen Samoa look this scared throughout the weekend so far, but, there's a first for everything.
So the conversion is successful, 14-0 in favour of Tonga over Samoa. I can see the Australian side over on the far side of Portsea Oval just doing their pre-game warm-ups. It was wonderful to have Shania and Shannon in the broadcast box here earlier in the day. I think we've uncovered another two media stars there, Moz.
Yeah.
Including yourself.
Oh, it's hard to get them to come up and do this, but they actually really enjoy it. They love it, and they've got some really great insight, obviously, being in the competition and being a part of it, playing in it, and they're getting ready, though, for their final this afternoon.
Didn't take much convincing, which shows plenty of confidence in the Australian side. So the referee just to come in, and he will blow the penalty. So Tonga to get the ball here. They will do the tap and go about 10 into opposition territory. Scrum to take place. Backline for Tonga looks nice and wide, whereas Samoa's just a little bit stubby. Needs to just widen that out a little bit, but they fixed that right now. So Tonga to feed the scrum. Interesting contest for this ball. Of course, the 3-on-3 scrum as Tonga give the ball along their back line and now just go to the blind, but the penalty has been blown, as you can see there from the referee. So the quick tap and go, 10 into opposition territory. She's been told to play it back at the mark. They'll go again. Second phase now along the back line. Out wide. Oh, just couldn't quite get that pass. It's been knocked back. That'll be possibly a knock on there, and it is. So Samoa will have the ball about 22 out from the line.
Yeah, just a bit of a missed opportunity there by Tonga. They had a really good overlap, and if they'd have just worked the ball through the hands, they would have made that a lot easier for themselves and, maybe would have been able to score that try. But lucky for Samoa, though, they now have a really good opportunity here with this scrum. I'd really like to see them try and shift the ball across the field and just start to work their way up a little bit using the width and using the space that they have. And they've got some speedsters out there in that back line, so now is definitely a good opportunity for them to use that.
Yeah, they certainly do. So it's wonderful to see a lot of the officials from the Defence Force. And Samoa have nice use of the football. Just remain in their 22. Tonga will try and get the ball back in play but can't, and that goes out of bounds. Of course, the Defence Minister here. So it's great to see his participation and all the involvement that the Defence Force have had in this competition. Esther and her team done a terrific job organising all the teams, all the logistics, getting teams to hotels and to the grounds and training and all that. Takes a lot of work by some very dedicated people. So wonderful to have their support here at this Pacific Military Cup, the first one. It's great to be the first commentators, Moz.
Yeah, it's always good to be a part of this. I love it. I think that this is a really great competition. This is the first one that they've ever had, and this is the first time that the women have had a competition dedicated to just them without having to share it with the men, as Tonga take the ball to the line and they start to shift it through and they just find the holes and make it too easy for themselves there. Samoa, unfortunately, just were a bit disjointed there in that defensive line, and Tonga were just able to find the gap and make it through.
So third try of the game. Looks like it'll be converted here in just a moment. So 19-0 becomes 21-0. So a terrific contest so far between these two Pacific nations.
Tonga extending that lead there with a try from Anamapi Ao.
So now Tonga to get us back underway. 21-0 in favour of Tonga over Samoa in this plate final. Taken beautifully on the 22 by the Samoans. Now they'll just push the ball across their back line, but the Tongans have now come up with it. But the referee has said, hang on a minute. He spotted an issue, so we'll come back. And it'll be Samoan tap and go from about 5 or 6 away from the 40. So that's half time here at Portsea Oval in the plate final. 21-0 in favour of Tonga. Stay with us on the other side of the break. All the action of the second half. So welcome back to Portsea Oval. John O'Farr and Molly Gray, your commentators for this plate final. If you're just joining us, the Tongans lead Samoa 21-0 And Samoa will get us underway as the Tongans take it up to the line. Plays it nicely just outside the 22. Working beautifully here, the Tongans. Pop-up pass, it goes. Plays it back across their back line. They've got some space and size. And now an opportunity here out wide for Tonga as they go over the halfway line. It's a foot race. Now galloping inside 30, inside the 22. Diving. Can't get it. She's dropped the ball. Oh, can you believe it?
Oh, talk about the commitment there from the Samoan player, and that's really great, causes the upset. It was just...
Oh, the cruelty of this sport sometimes. So the scrum to take place about 5 or 6 out from the try line, but Tonga's next try was guaranteed there if she just get the fingers around the Gilbert. But unfortunately spilled her lollies close to the try line, and the score remains 21 points to 0. So into the second half now, as Samoa will feed this scrum and they'll use their back line. It's a win against the feed for Tonga, and they go, they've dropped the footy again, but it's gone backwards. No. So again, they've got the yips. They've dropped the pill twice inside 10 metres and given Samoa another opportunity with the ball, Moz.
Yeah, it's really good. Samoa is starting to put some good pressure on the Tongans, which is causing those little upsets there. And it's just now, if they can get this scrum right, I'd like to see them hit that blind side. The Tongans look like they've got the speed to be able to do it. So that would be nice to see them try that and go for another foot race.
So Samoa to feed the scrum. Again, it's won by the feed, but the referee says no, that wasn't quite what I liked with that scrum. So we'll take 2 on that one. And the players get set once again. So Samoa taking their time, but eventually the ball comes out the back, and a kick on the first phase lands right on the chalk of the 22 as the Tongans pick it up now. So 21 points to 0 in favour of the Tongans in this plate final. They shift it to the right-hand side. They've dropped the ball again. That's the 3rd time in quick succession. It'll be a knock on. I think the referee allowed a little bit of play on there, but unfortunately he's had to stop it.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart move by the Samoans then to kick the ball down range, and they actually got some good metres out of it, which is the first time we've seen that in a little while. And then again, just putting that pressure on and causing that upset, and Tonga bit of butterfingers again, and we've seen that a few times now where they've dropped the ball. So
looks like there's an injury there for, I think it's one of the Samoan players, is it? No, it's one of the Tongan players, so looks like a bit of a knee or something there. She's just coming from the field, so let's hope everything's okay with her. So now Samoa will tap and go, 10 short of the halfway. Now they bring it away. Impressive stuff, but beautiful defence from Tonga. So 21 points to 0 in favour of Tonga in this plate final. Of course, up next, a barn burner of a battle between the Australians and the New Zealand side. That will be the final of the inaugural Pacific Military Cup here at Duntroon in Canberra. Beautiful conditions here, absolutely picturesque. Such a relief after what seemed like 500 days of rain, Molly Gray.
Absolutely. Yeah, yesterday was a bit of a cold day. There was a little bit of rain, but it has cleared up, and it's really, the weather's really turning it on now as Tonga work the ball through their hands, and they managed to just get through that Samoan defensive line again and to streak away for another try. Good to see that they've managed to wipe away their butterfingers.
Yeah, yes, they've done that. So the conversion to take place here in just a moment to try and make it 28-0. 26-0 it is. Kick is unsuccessful, smacks off the crossbar. So 26-0 in favour of Tonga in this plate final. It's going to be a terrific battle up next between Australia and New Zealand. Really looking forward to seeing what transpires in that game. Can the Australians pick up the inaugural Military Cup, or will the Kiwis? Would it be an upset if they won the Military Cup, Moz?
If the Kiwis won? Do you know what? I don't think it would be. I think it is what it is. Two very evenly matched teams, and I have no idea which way it's going to go. So, it's always going to be an upset when it's on, when it's on home soil. So
yeah, well, that's true. So the ball's gone into touch over on the far side, just adjacent to the 22. So the line out to take place now. It'll be Samoa to feed it. Wind's just started to pick up a little bit here. You can probably see on your bar TV pictures that it's just swinging to the left of your screen. Towards the golf course as Tonga now try and get the ball along their back line, but they can't do anything with it. John O'Farr and Molly Gray, your commentators for today's action. Wonderful to be here the last 2 days. Well, day and a half for me, really, because the star of the show, Molly Gray, kicked things off yesterday morning here in Canberra. Did a superb job. Took the reins with Ian. Handled the occasion well. So now this scrum to be fed here. It'll be a Tongan feed as it goes in, and there's a bit of a malfunction at the junction at the scrum base there. Tonga at the tap and go. They go inside 22. If they shift it to the left, they've got a try here. They do that. Out it goes. Oh, can you believe what we've just seen again? That's twice now. Open in front of the line. And they've dropped the ball, unfortunately. So those Butterfingers are back, Moz. It won't matter because that is full time. So Tonga, they win the plate final here at the Pacific Military Cup. A terrific game of rugby. 28-0 in favour of Tonga. Samoa, they have been a very good side over the last 2 days. We've enjoyed watching all of their games, and it's great to have them a part of this tournament for the first time. We hope they're back next year. Same goes for Tonga. So 28-0 in favour of the Tongans. They beat the Samoans, and they win the plate final here at the Pacific Military Cup. We'll take a break. You'll be able to see all the presentation going on just in front of us here in the beautiful sunshine of Canberra for the plate final. And then, of course, we will be back after that for all the action of the final of the Pacific Military Cup between Australia and New Zealand. Stay with us for that. Well, here we are, the pointy end of the pencil, the final of the Pacific Military Cup. And the two teams, as you can see on screen, the Australians obviously in the green and gold, and the Kiwis in the black and white. John O'Farr, Molly Gray, your commentators for today's game. This should be an absolute ripper of a game, Molly Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think both teams have played about 4 games already over the last 2 days. This is the 5th and final one, the grand final, and it's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of skill out there, a lot of pace, a lot of speed, a lot of experience. So I don't know which way this game's going to go, but it's going to be a cracker.
So the Kiwis with first possession, and they will take it just outside their 30, almost about 10 metres short of the halfway line. Along the back line they go. Away to the 16 in Whitaker. Now they've got some pace just out wide. That's nice work from Winanoa. And quick tap and go for the Australians, and a gallop away for Lockhart. She'll go inside the 22. Chance now for points here, and possibly on the right-hand side if they go that way. A fall down at the breakdown, so it'll be Australia's quick tap.
Well, if we just take that back a second and go back to what Lucy Lockhart did by forcing that turnover there and, holding onto the ball, and with that quick tap decision and what she does, she leads the team well. She's experienced, she knows what she's doing. And then Shannon Evans about to go over the line, but the Kiwis just hold her up.
Plays it short of the line from the set piece. Along the back line it goes. Nicely worked. Embley comes back at the line. Can she get the first points in this final? Tries to dive at the line. Gee, she must have been centimetres. Lockhart out the back. Beautiful pick-up. Chance for Australia out wide. Now it comes back to Lockhart. Beautiful in and away. Is she there? She is. It is a try. So the Australians draw first blood through Lockhart. Wonderful rugby. They shifted it left. It went nicely there to the number 10 in Terry Ann Ellis, but then she had the foresight just to use the nice in and away and put Lockhart through a big hole, and Australia lead 5-0 in the final, Molly.
Yeah, that was a really great effort there by Lucy, and again, she's showing some really great leadership on the field today. Just her vision as well, and just seeing that hole on the outside, looping around behind Ellis, and just, really putting her head down and going for it. So great effort there by Lucy Lockhart.
Conversion from the sideline is unsuccessful. It's only just short though, so the accuracy was there, just sadly not the distance. So Lockhart's kick unsuccessful, and Australia, they lead at 5-0 in the Pacific Nations Cup final. And we're almost set for the restart here as Lockhart just gets us back underway in a brief second. So what a start to the Military Cup final here for Australia. Goes nicely to Ellis, who went high. Now it comes away down the sideline. There's a chance here for more points. And Australia just played inside the 22 from the set piece. They swing it along the back line. Goes away, Ellis. Nice, beautiful hands there from Lockhart. Now it goes to Evans. Evans just inside the 5. Play on, is it a try? I wouldn't think so. No, it's gone forward.
A penalty to Australia. New Zealand not rolling away there. But another great effort there by the girls, straight off that kickoff as well. Just, Lucy hitting it right on that 10-metre line. Shannon Evans with the ball now.
Takes it to Embley. Embley steps left and right, goes towards the try line. Couple of metres short. They play it from the set piece. Swings it back. Lockhart again. Gets absolutely smashed close to the line. Swings it back. Is it a try? Looks like a knock on, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say she probably just dropped it before she put it down onto the ground. Unfortunately there for Australia, but New Zealand are defending like absolute champions, especially on that line.
So you can hear the instructions from the Kiwi bench just to our right-hand side. So the scrum to take place a couple of metres out from the try line. Opportunity now for the Kiwis to play the ball. In the feed it goes and out it comes. They swing it along the back line. Nice bit of footwork there from the 9 in Hatana. Goes down to the Australians. Geez, that's an impressive take. And now Australia come back along the line. They've got some options here. Space is beautiful to the left-hand side. Oh, geez, the pass was almost there from the 7 in Hack. And it goes back for the Kiwis. So they will play it along the line. Big driving tackle there. Beautiful stuff on the 3 and Berry. She goes to ground. Now they swing it. Hantlett swings it nicely. Chance out wide for the Kiwis, just outside the 22. The push and the shove. Good stuff from Ellis in defence. Ball comes back to Hantlett. They go over the halfway line. It's a foot race. It's inside the 22. The Kiwis toying with the Australian defence. And the Kiwis score the try. Beautiful response. Hatana goes bang under the post.
What a try. God, she's got some wheels on her, and they worked really hard there over on the left-hand side of the field. And the Australians did a really good job to slow the Kiwis down, but the way that they just sort of used each other in support and managed to work their way down the field. And as soon as Hatana got the ball, I mean, who can stop her? She's so fast. She outran 3 of the Australian players, but they didn't give up all the way until the end. So really great to see that everyone's so passionate about this final.
So Hayley Hatana converts her own try, and it's 7-5 to the Kiwis midway through this first half. Beautiful crowd here. This grandstand, I reckon there's probably about 4 seats to my right-hand side that are free. That's it. Jam-packed in here. So a great atmosphere. You can probably see a few people over on the far side on the hill. They're enjoying the action. A couple of people at both ends of the ground. Beautiful day here in Canberra. And what a final we're seeing so far. 7-5. Ellis can't take the ball. Hatana came over the top. And now the Kiwis will have it there through the number 7 in Wainua. So the scrum base will take place just outside the 22. 7-5 in favour of the Kiwis midway through this first half of the Pacific Military Cup final. Who's going to take it out in 2018, the inaugural event? John O'Farr and Molly Gray, your commentators here. Loving the action of day 2 so far. Who's going to finish it off in this final? Goes along the back line. Chance now here for the Kiwis. Comes back away for the 2 there in Malangini. Comes back for the Kiwis. They play it inside the 22. Now they shift it along the back line. Goes beautifully away to Wanano. Now away to Whitaker. Gives the ball back inside to the 17 in Lilo. Lilo goes inside the 22. Chance here now for points. Myers there at the scrum set. She swings it to the left-hand side. Nicely to Wanano. Beautiful ball away. There's a try possibly coming here for the Kiwis in Malagai. And the try is there for them. So Malagai scores the try. And the Kiwis build on their lead, 12 points to 5.
Yeah, that's another classy try there to New Zealand. Geez, they're working that Australian defensive line. The Australians are working really hard, but what I did notice was that Ellis is still sitting in that, at the back there as a bit of a halfback role, as a sweeper, sorry. But I feel like when the Kiwis are within that 10 metres of the line, Ellis really needs to move up and join the defensive line to give the Australians some more numbers. So she doesn't have to scramble to do that cover defence in that, in the last couple of metres, especially when someone's running it at that hard. So I think maybe they need to rethink that part of their defensive line. But I mean, credit to the Kiwis. They're playing absolutely amazingly.
So Hatana converts that try. I reckon there would have been a lick of paint in that. So that's half time here in the Pacific Military Cup final between Australia and New Zealand. And the Kiwis, they lead it. 14 points to 5. We'll take a break. Can the Australians bounce back and pick up the trophy on home soil, or will the Kiwis keep bouncing and be crowned champions in 2018? Find out on the other side of this break. So welcome back here to Portsea Oval, and the Kiwis get us back underway. If you just joined us, 14 points to 5 in favour of the Kiwis in this final, as Australia now try and get the ball upfield, but the ball has gone into touch over on the far side, so it'll be a line out. John O'Farr, Molly Gray. Interesting first half. Molly, thoughts on what you saw in that first stanza?
Yeah, it has been quite an interesting first half. The Australians looked a bit tired by the end, and the Kiwis are definitely putting a lot of pressure on them, and they're showing there's a lot of skill there. But just having to make Australia defend so often is what is going to make them tired and make them fatigue a lot quicker. So hopefully they can get the ball back in hand and really start to use their strength, which is their ability to move the ball around the field and their power into contact as well. So I just want to see Australia get the ball back.
So Malangini will take it and fly over almost the halfway line. Now the ball comes back away to Kanisi. Kanisi stepping now around her own players inside the half, puts the little chip on. Ellis will try and pick it up at the back. She'll bring it about 10 metres short of the halfway line where she's brought to ground. They come over the top, the Aussies, and Lockhart will try and get possession of the footy but can't go any further.
A really good opportunity here for the Aussies to slow it down a little bit.
So Lockhart to tap and go about 9 short of the halfway line. They throw it to the left-hand side. Now it comes to Evans, onto Ellis. Ellis back to Evans. Evans bumps off a couple of defenders there, but the referee has come in and blown the whistle. Kiwis certainly on top here. Australia, they just look a little uncharacteristic in their performance so far, Moz.
Yeah, I think they need to just muscle up and just go into that contact and start making those. If you can't find a gap, you just have to make the contact and start to work your way up the field there and hopefully try and create opportunities. You can't score a try off every single ruck. So, they really just need to start hitting and making contact with the Kiwis.
So the Kiwis play it inside 40. They go along their back line. Bounces fortuitously, and it goes to Malangini. Malangini gives the ball away, and now there's a possible chance here for Kanisi. Kanisi goes forward. They'll play it just shy of 22. Now an opportunity through Wanano. Down the touchline they go. They find themselves just out of the 22. Goes across to the 14 in Meyer. Meyer holds up the pass. Now steps around a couple of players. Plays it just shy of the 22. Chance now for Hatana. She'll go right side. Gives the ball across field there. And now the Kiwis will take it over on that far side. From the set piece, they bring it across. Nice damaging run there from Berry. Berry will go inside the 22. Chance here for points. Goes nicely to Meyer. Meyer steps it beautifully to Wanano. Now they come back away the line. Goes to Malangini. Cross the line there. Nicely to Lilo. Lilo gives the ball across there to Cassini. And they play it just inside the 22. Chance for Hatana at the back. Oh, caught them napping straight up the middle. Hayley Hatana almost to the line. Oh, can't be taken close to the line. And Malagini has spilt the lollies. And the Aussies breathe a big sigh of relief.
This is exactly the opportunity that the Australians need right now, because the Kiwis are working them from side to side. So hopefully they can really do something with this. They haven't had the ball in hand for a few minutes now, and we are in the late stages of the second half of the final.
So 14 points to 5 in favour of the Kiwis. They've been an impressive side right across the tournament, but so too have the Australians. So that's what makes this such a mouth-watering battle. 14-5 in favour of the Kiwis. And now the scrum to take place. So this needs to turn into points, this set piece from the Australians. In it goes nicely to Lockhart. Just doesn't quite go to plan. Some work to do. This is impressive stuff from Evans. Will bring it out of the try area. Gives it to Ellis. Ellis gallops away. Look at it gallop over 40. Flying over the halfway line. This is brilliant from the Australians. Terrific effort there from the number 7. Brilliant stuff from Gemma Huck, and she'll score under the posts. That is exactly what the Australians needed, and Mrs. Nostradamus, you've done it for the 3rd time.
That's exactly what the Aussies needed, and they've converted that try now, which means that they're only trailing by 1 point.
So a remarkable turnaround for the Australians. 14 points to 12 now. So,
well, they can kick it whenever they want, I'm pretty sure. So,
Gemma Hawk, Australia 12, New Zealand 14.
So what a performance we're seeing here. The Australians, they've got a bit more spring in their step. That was a brilliant try from Gemma Hawk. Comes across now for the Kiwis along the back line. Shifts it nicely to Meyer. Now it goes to Malangini. Goes out on that far side. Nicely there to the 17 in Lilo. They'll play it on that far side from the set piece. The Kiwis are a bit confused with the referee call, but they'll have to listen. So it'll be a tap for the Kiwis here. You can see the Australians stacked on that halfway line. 14 points to 12. What a turnaround. Started there from Shannon Evans. And it was just a beautiful run there from Gemma Huck to score right under the posts. So the Kiwis kick for touch, and the line out to take place about 38 from the line. This is a crucial line out here for both sides, really. Because if the Kiwis score here, they can just lift their ascendancy a fraction. And if the Aussies scare Molly Gray, well, they can give the Kiwis a scare.
yeah, absolutely. That was a really interesting option for them to go and kick for touch, though. You don't see that happen very often in 7's. Generally, people just go for the tap, and they work a really strong tap move off that just to have that quick flowing rugby. But Kiwis with the ball in hand. That was actually a very good line out by them.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't there some height? And now it goes across to Wallace Sharp, who's been a little bit quiet in this final. Hatana. Now it goes nicely to Wanano. Wanano put to ground beautifully there over the top from Ellis. Comes back along the line. Ellis still trying to go. Now Hatana flies down. Now inside 22. Goes towards the try line. Can she get there? No. Brilliant cover defence from the Australians. About a metre short of the try line. The referee has come in and blown the whistle. Unsure of the penalty at the moment.
The refs just awarded a yellow card to one of the Australians. Looks like it was Amy Carpenter. Not sure why. It's just out of view from where we're sitting at the moment. But
okay, so that's it. Full-time siren in the background. A thrilling final to finish this Pacific Military Cup. New Zealand have won a thriller. 14 points to 12. A terrific final. Molly Gray, what did you think of it?
No, I thought it was a really great final. You know, definitely the type that we thought that it was going to be. Both teams are really skillful, and they're really, they're very strong in contact as well. So there's, no surprises there that it was a hard game for both teams. Australia just seemed like they were on the back foot the majority of the game, though, and they didn't really have the ball as much as they would have liked. So they were defending. They looked fatigued. And New Zealand, they were just a classier team on the day, and a disappointment for Australia because, this is the inaugural competition. It is being hosted at home, so they're definitely going to be a little bit disappointed, but you've got to give credit to New Zealand because they played out of their skin today, and Hutana is absolutely exceptional player. So I thought it was great. The entire tournament has been amazing, and it's been a real pleasure to watch it and to watch women's rugby grow within the Defence Forces around the Pacific.
Yeah, absolutely. Well summed up, Molly Gray. So a terrific final to finish things here in Canberra. 14 points to 12 in favour of the Kiwis. A few people to thank Esther and her wonderfully dedicated team for putting this event together from a logistics point of view. Molly Gray for joining us in the broadcast box, did a superb job as the lead commentator along with Ian yesterday. So a big thank you to Ian for all your help for filling the pine and keeping the seat warm while I got here to Canberra. And of course to Shania Allen and Shannon Evans, who joined us for the previous two games today on the final day. And of course, last but certainly not least, the wonderfully talented crew from Bar TV. That is how you've been seeing the pictures the last 2 days. Bar TV, I've worked with them for a number of years, and they do a superb job from a production standpoint. So well done, lads. Another great job. It's been a terrific tournament. We hope you've enjoyed the last 2 days. The Kiwis, they are crowned the champions in 2018. They are the inaugural Pacific Military Cup champions in 2018. My name is John O'Farr. You'll be able to see all the action of the post-game celebrations and including the trophy presentation to New Zealand. A great scene on screen there between the two teams, Australia and New Zealand coming together for a final prayer. My name is John O'Farr. We hope you've enjoyed the action. Thank you very much for your company, and we'll see you next year, hopefully in Canberra, for the Pacific Military Cup in 2019. Bye for now.
Australia New Zealand performer receive their latest point before we go into the plate and flat presentation. We'll also be naming the player of the tournament, and this will be done by Field Commander Steve Hancock. Give up for Australia and the cup winners, New Zealand. So first of all, the remaining teams to make their way to the field for the presentation of the plate and the cup and our player of the tournament.
afternoon, everyone. Chief of Defence Force, General Campbell, Secretary of the Department of Defence, Patron, Radio Soccer Union, Lieutenant General Paul, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this finals presentation of the Pacific Military Cup. I'd like to start first by recognising the notable people, the traditional owners and custodians of this land on which we meet and have contested rugby. I recognise their elders past and present, and also would like to acknowledge the many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who have and continue to serve in our Defence Force. Let us start please by a big round of applause for these veterans from the South West Pacific Islands. This tournament is a first bringing the women of the military and security forces of the South West Pacific together, and has provided an opportunity for many of the ladies for the very first time to depart their home shores, to come to meet other ladies of other nations, form friendships and bonds, all while playing rugby. Before inviting the Chief of Defence Force to make some presentations and bringing the winning teams forward, I would like to recognise some of the people who did so much to make this event a success. And I'd start off with Major Rebecca Barlow. Where are you, Rebecca? Put your hand up. There's a lot going on in the background that you will not know about, and Beck did a fabulous job. Very well supported by Major Rebecca Dyson and also Lieutenant Giz Wellingberg, which you'll put up your hand, Giz. And Lieutenant Esther Ruby Esther. Thank you. It has not been an easy event to organise due to its scale and the biography, geography, sorry, of the participants. You've all done a fantastic job. Thank you very much on behalf of all of us. I'd also like to thank the company who designed the jerseys for Samoa, Vanuatu, Samoa, Tonga. To our referees, which have come from Samoa, Fiji, New Zealand and Australia, thank you for the time. And lastly, to the rest of the supporting staff from the Defence Force and the Department, particularly the Army Liaison Officers, the Army Band, great job, thank you very much. You're all being critical in making this event possible through the Defence Cooperation Program. I would now like to invite our Chief of Defence Force, General Campbell, to come forward here to Mesa to present the cup and plate to the winning teams. So I'd now like to call forward, please, the winning team, the 2018 Pacific Military Women's Rugby 7's Cup, New Zealand, led by Lauren Captain. Come forward to receive your presentation. Women's 2018 Military Cup, presented to Tonga, led by their captain, Nina. Generously sponsored by the New Zealand High Commission, and I invite Field Commander Steve Hand, Vice Defence Staff here in Canberra, to present the award for the layout Got a bit of a surprise here, so we're going to do it by number. From New Zealand, number 9. Well, a huge congratulations, ladies and support staff from the nations of Samoa, Solomon Islands, Cook Islands, Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu, New Zealand, and of course Australia. The tournament is not possible without all your contributions. I hope you have enjoyed your time so far in Australia. We look forward to seeing you and seeing this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for attending. That concludes this afternoon's formal if the teams could remain for photographs. Everyone else, thank you for coming and supporting. It's been absolutely fantastic to see so many people come down here to cheer all the ladies on as they took part in the first official tournament.